Little Legends, The Spell Thief by Tom Percival. Chapter 13. It's the last chapter, A Homecoming. Time passed quickly, and before long Anansi's vacation was over, and it was time for him to return home. Once again, they all went up to Lookout Point to watch the boat sail in. This time, there was no racing and no excitement. "Maybe we could come and visit you," said Jack sadly, even though they all knew there was no way they'd be allowed to go to far, far away on their own. "Or maybe you could have another vacation here," added Hansel and Gretel. Eventually, Red said, "I think I can see the ship." Everyone peered out to sea. Jack watched as it crept closer and closer. Then he gasped. He scooped up Betsy and sprinted down the path toward the dog. "What's going on?" called Rapunzel. "I'm not sure," shouted Jack, "but I think I saw my dad on the deck." By the time Jack and the others had arrived at the dock, the ship was starting to unload. Jack watched as a stream of travelers poured off the boat, carrying luggage and talking of the exciting times they had had. The stream of people became a trickle, and then eventually there was no one left. "Maybe it was just someone who looked like your dad," said Anansi. "Maybe," said Jack quietly, "but I could have sworn it was him." "I'm sorry, Jack." Red placed a hand on her friend's shoulder. "Shall we help Anansi get his things?" As they turned to leave, a grating creak rang out. A huge door was opening on the boat. A ramp slid out until it rested on the docks. Then a team of people started to unload some heavy-looking machinery. Jack blinked in surprise. There, right in front of him, helping another man heave a huge drill down the dockside, was his father. "Dad!" he yelled as loud as he could, sprinting forward. "Dad! Dad!" shouted Anansi at the same time. Jack and Anansi shot a look over at each other and stopped dead in their tracks. We have the same dad?" gasped Jack. Anansi burst out laughing. "No," he said, when he could finally speak again. "My dad is the other man." Yeah, of course," replied Jack. "I knew that all along. But what's he doing here? What are the both of you doing here?" "What? You're not happy to see me?" called out Jack's father as he walked over. A big grin spread across his face. "Of course I am," said Jack. "It's just, I don't understand." "Let me tell you a story," replied his dad, smiling. "What now?" "Once upon a time," began Jack's father. "Well, about 3 months ago, one of the fairy tale kingdom's more accident-prone princes was handing out a quest when he fell down a deep crack in the ground. As he explored farther, it led to a huge underground chamber entirely lined with moonstone. Everybody gasped. Jack's father smiled broadly. Nobody could tell how much moonstone was hidden in there, so a mining team was sent home to find out. And that's where Aboy and I came into it." He nodded at Anansi's father. "You and Anansi's dad know each other?" asked Jack, his mouth hanging open. "Oh, we've been friends for years," replied Jack's dad, clapping Aboy on the shoulder. "Not at first, though," said Aboy. "There were a few, misunderstandings when we first met." "All water under the Troll's Bridge now," said Jack's dad. "I hope you've made Anansi feel at home, Jack." Said Jack. "There's nowhere else I'd rather be," said Anansi quickly. "Well, that's good," said Aboy, "because we're going to be living here as long as there's moonstone to mine." "Really?" exclaimed Anansi. "Really," said his father. "And what about Mom?" said Anansi. "Is she—" "She'll be coming too," said Aboy, "but there are a few things I need to sort out first, okay?" Anansi nodded. "Anyway, we've been at sea for nearly 3 months," said Jack's dad. "I'd like something to eat that isn't dried, smoked, or salted. Who wants to go to Green Tops? My treat." Jack smiled as everyone chattered excitedly. His dad was here to stay. Anansi was moving to Tailtown. The world seemed perfect. Who knew what adventures lay ahead? And that's the end of The Spell Thief by Tom Percival.